Yes, it should be
Yay.
like.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Monday Light Paranormal Live. Even with myself, Paul from Host for Ghosts, and Angela from South Coast Ghosts. We have Nigel, Dora, and Luke, all from the other paranormal group, South Coast Ghosts. Unfortunately, tonight Darren can't be here. He's busy as usual. Yes, we all know what his busy schedule's like. So tonight we've got various topics to talk about. Tonight, the group that done the paranormal Saturday overnight stay. They're going to give us a rundown on what happened that night. And we have Dora, who's going to give us a little bit of a history and a bit of a run-in about a place she went into Poland. Just brief, not go into too much depth, but a very interesting place. And I'm sure Dora will run us through what she felt and what she saw. Also, we'll be getting onto the topic of the Guildford Ghost Walk. That night we go out for the walk. We're thinking of maybe finding out where we all meet and then maybe have a meal before we go on the walk. So we all get together and just have a little bit of a meal before we start the walk and just have a bit of a chat like we do. Basically, I'm on the road on the mend from my heart attack I've had. So I'm on the mend. So we haven't been out other than the barn, which was a few weeks ago now. So really, we'll talk about the Saturday night with Angela and Luke, and I'm not sure if Nigel went on Saturday night to the cottage. So we'll hand over to Angela and Luke to take us through Saturday night's investigation. Over to you.
Over to you, Luke.
What, me to speak.
Yeah.
So, it's quite active at the start of it. And at one point, I was sitting in the kitchen with Darren and my mum and Amy, and the plates jumped up in the air. A stack of plates just jumped, moved. We couldn't believe it.
And were they on the table, or are they in a cupboard, or where were they?
They backed up on the table.
Oh,
Just jumped to the side like someone moved them.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, there was lots of noises at the start of the night. You could hear lots of like knocking and a strange sort of squeaky noise and bangs, and you could hear footsteps upstairs when we were all downstairs and that kind of thing. And yeah, there sort of seemed to be a lot going on all over the place.
Right.
And Darren picked up on this really angry guy. We think his name was Ray.
Yeah.
And we've got some, I think Darren's put it up on the website, some EVPs and videos. And he managed to capture the voice. It just sounds like one of us talking. It sounds like one of our voices. It's that sort of clear and loud. But Darren said that was the voice that he heard when nobody else heard it. So
interesting.
That's a very interesting one to listen to.
Yeah. I'll go over it, put my headphones on. I listened to it quickly the other day, and I need to put my headphones on and just listen to it quietly to try and sort of distinguish, like you say, what else was going on there.
Well, when we first got there, we were talking to the caretaker or her husband, and he doesn't like the property at all. He said it's got a horrible feeling. He's a skeptic, but he just doesn't like going in there. Sort of going there for about 10 minutes, and then that's it. That's his lot. And he said I think it was the gamekeeper won't go in there at all. And it's sort of like a well-known property within the village. They all know what goes on there and what happens there. And they've had about 4 sets of tenants that have only stayed like really short times, and they've just gone because of what's gone on. And they seem to think there's a poltergeist there, which with the plates moving is probably evidence of that.
Yeah.
And there was a woman that lived there for only a short time, and she left because she came back one day, or she came back downstairs, and all the cupboards in the kitchen were just open, and that was just like, nope, I'm going. That's enough for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's good poltergeist activity there then.
Yeah. So we got a little of that.
Sorry.
Whose venue was it? Julia's?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a Paranation one.
And
Yeah,
do you
there was
have much
temples
do you have much history on the cottage then? Did you?
there. Oh, I can't quite remember it.
What's that one, Nigel?
Haunted.
That is all the haunted places in Britain, Wales, Scotland,
Oh, nice.
and I've been contacting a lot of them,
Right.
get venues with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, some really good ones.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, Gemma's just reminded me that at the start of the night, there was an extension lead that was just laying on either the windowsill or the radiator, and it just fell off all by itself. No one was near it or anything. It just went boop onto the floor, and that sort of spooked a few people.
Yeah, I'll bet. Hi, good evening, Gemma. Welcome. Yeah, that was interesting then, the extension lead.
Yeah, that was the first thing that sort of moved by itself.
And was there much history on the cottage? Was there anything untoward happen there, or is it just a normal cottage in a normal village? Or
I'm not very good at remembering history, so I can't quite remember. Can you remember, Luke?
can you remember, Luke? Remember the history of it?
I don't know if it might have been true, but when we contacted Ray, he said he was murdered and buried under the shed in the concrete.
All right. Okay. That's why he's angry, is it?
He killed by a group of people.
All right. Did he say what year he was killed in then, or
1940s, I think it might have been.
oh, in the 40s? Right. Okay.
Yeah. He was a farmer.
And did you ask anybody if that was
Want a B&Q shed?
sorry?
As long as it wasn't a B&Q shed, because that would have pissed him off.
Did you ask anybody to verify that, Luke? Whether you could find out anything, or did you Google it, or
No, I'm not sure to contact, really. I don't know, really.
it might be worth Googling it and see what you can find from the, put the history of the cottage from 1940 or, something like that, and see whether somebody did go missing, whether Ray was a gamekeeper or whether he was an owner or a landlord or, don't know. Be interested to sort of find out, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah.
So you could see what you could get from it.
Yeah. And it seemed to be after that point when Ray had sort of said what had happened. That's when it all sort of went flat and nothing really happened after that. We don't know. Just trying to get attention to get the message across. And then when
do you think he scares everyone else off, or do you think he sort of scares all the other spirits off there?
I don't know. I seem to remember at one point on the board, and we were talking to a female. I think it was Iris.
Yeah, Iris. Yeah.
I think she said that there was someone there that was sort of like trying to suppress her or stop her from talking or something. So
all right.
We didn't get very far with that, I don't think. Oh, we did try a bit of we had the whiteboard that we usually write all the notes on, and the marker pen, and we had about 4 or 5 people holding the pen lightly, like you would, like with glass moving and that, to hold the pen.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Or anything, because we'd heard that people had got children in the room before, and they like to draw pictures, like to draw flowers.
Okay.
Julia's put up some pictures of what they drew, and it doesn't really look like flowers, but it's just marked on the board. Could have been that they were trying to write something, because it looks more like letters than drawings. But
okay, that's interesting, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. So that was about. Did you get any EVPs other than the man, or?
I'm not sure at the moment. We did
I recorded when I got it again.
You did what, mate? Sorry.
I need to listen to mine again. I did.
Right. Is that the one you sent on the thing?
No, the one I sent to you was Wave the Abbey.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. It'll be interesting to listen back on your EVPs then to see if you did pick up another voice there somewhere.
Yeah.
It sounds a good chance. Sometimes these haunted places are more audible than they are visual, aren't they? You know,
Yeah.
like Andrew was saying, there's knocks and footsteps and, you know, things like that. So if you get the start of an investigation like that, it's, you know, you're on your recorder all the time then, aren't you? Because it's going to be
Yeah.
more audible than visual, really.
Mm.
So,
And
sorry.
Gemma and Stevie both got ghostly men in photos. And
Oh, right.
when we all eventually went to bed at about 2:30, Gemma felt like someone was touching her feet and trying to drag her out of bed.
Oh, no. Really?
Quite a few people, I think, felt touches that evening as well. Even I
Yeah.
did. Sometimes,
Oh.
where it was dark, I wasn't quite sure if it was like the crane flies that were flying around.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I just wasn't like overly convinced with that, but
No.
yeah.
So a few of you felt touches, or what you
Mm.
assume were touches, or whatever.
Yeah, it's only light.
Darren was still in bed, wasn't he?
Darren, he's probably in bed at midnight. We left it to everybody else. No, just while everybody's on here, Darren's uploaded a video onto YouTube, which should be going live at any time now. It's from the Barn Theatre. So go over and have a look at South Coast Ghosts on YouTube and see the upload and subscribe and like and share. And it, according to Darren, it should be live sometime now. So go over to South Coast Ghosts on YouTube and just have a quick look. Give him the thumbs up and the share and all of that. It all helps, doesn't it? Put all these stuff on there.
Yeah.
So is that about all your reporting from Saturday night, or you got more?
I said about
all I can think
when everyone went to bed, I said, "Can you touch someone upstairs?" So I
of.
reckon they touched Gemma.
So it could have been, yeah. That's a good shout.
Yeah.
No, and Gemma's saying that she felt her feet were touched or pulled or whatever. That's interesting. Whether that was at the same time or just slightly after you said that would have been interesting. Do you know what sort of time that was, Luke?
About 3:30 or 4 in the morning, I think.
Was it? It'd be interesting for Gemma to reply what time if she remembers that is, what sort of time she felt that pull or that movement in there. You know? Interesting, isn't it? If you ask that and then they came and done that, give her a little tug, that would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether Gemma can answer to that, if she can remember what sort of time or looked at the time that happened, just so we'd be interested to know whether they sort of correspond up, really. What else? So that's about it, is it? Or
Yep, I think that's all I can remember. There's probably a lot more, but
yeah,
I can't remember.
It is difficult, isn't it, to try and go back over the whole evening and try and remember where you got it, what happened, and all that type of stuff. You know, most times when I do an EVP recording, I always say the time, you know, lounge by, 11 o'clock. And then when you listen back, you think, oh, that's right, it was about 11 o'clock, or it just gives you a bit of a prompt. You know, when you listen back, oh, yeah, I remember there was a knock about 11:30, or, or the clock went forward or back, or, something, some I've just seen that shadow again at the rear door. Yeah. Sometimes you get that prompt and it sometimes helps,
Yeah.
But it sounds like an interesting night.
Yeah, we did get cat balls flashing quite a lot, and
the
meters going off. And Darren had one of those little plasma balls, and we didn't have it on for very long. And then, when someone touches it, it sort of has less thingies coming out and goes to those bits. And then it just died. And it had been like new batteries all fully charged, and it was only on for about 10, 20 minutes at the most, and it just drained all the energy of it.
Wow. But did it look like something was touching the glass, or it just suddenly went?
It did, yeah. It had they have lots of things coming out, and then it looked like there was only two going either side for a bit.
Oh, right.
and then
Oh,
it
that's
just kind of
interesting, isn't it?
and died. And
Huh.
that was it. Yeah.
That was quite interesting then, wasn't it? If it looked like something or someone had touched it,
Yeah.
that'd be interesting. Hopefully Darren's got that on film. It'd be interesting to have a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Julia had a motion detector light as well. That was going off.
Oh, all right. Where was that? Where was that positioned in? One of the bedrooms or the hallway?
I think we moved it around from room to room wherever we went. I can't remember exactly where it went off, but yeah.
Did you take your one, Luke?
Yeah, that didn't go off though.
It didn't.
No.
How weird is that? How you can get one go off and then not get the other go off? You think you'd sort of get a corresponding one go off, the other one would go, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
I left it in the room all night with Angela and Darren.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you're looking for motion going on then, Luke, were you?
Yeah.
Luke, come on. This is paranormal, mate.
Sofas.
Sorry?
We were on separate sofas.
How funny.
YouTube later.
Yeah, he'd have uploaded it, wouldn't he, Nigel?
Yeah. What do
So
you call it?
quite an interesting night then, really.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'd like to go back there.
Yeah,
I would like to do that again.
yeah. I think have they had a paranormal group go there before then, or
Yeah, loads. I think they have people living there from Monday to Friday, and then they have to vacate at the weekend because they have paranormal groups, I think, every weekend pretty much.
yeah. I wonder sometimes when you go to these venues and lots of people have been there, whether they actually burn out. Because I did a venue many years ago. What is it in Epsom? Oh, it'll come to me in a minute. Because it was the site of an old gunpowder mill.
Oh.
Yule Court, called Yule Court, and it's an actual dates back. But in the gardens, it was the very first of the gunpowder mills. And lots of people kept getting killed there because they were using the grinding stones to grind down gunpowder, because they were the ones that supplied a lot of the gunpowder for the Civil War in America and places like that. They were very first to refine gunpowder. And when they were using the grindstones, they couldn't understand why the buildings kept getting blown up and people get blown up there. Then they realised when they're grinding the gunpowder down, the stones were creating sparks.
Yeah.
So one spark to a gunpowder, and three times they lost the whole building before they realised that what they were grinding was obviously volatile gunpowder, and they kept getting sparks off the stones. And we did a paranormal night there with guests. Could you go in there? It's like a courthouse, basically. It's called Yule Court. And it was quite active in there, not too bad. But when you went out into the gardens, you walked along the gardens, over a little bridge and into the trees. And there were the ruins of what would have been the old gunpowder mill.
Okay.
And lots of people, because it's like at the end of a housing estate, and lots of people walk their dogs, so they see people running. They've heard bangs in the middle of the night from nowhere, and that's quite an interesting place. The last time I say we went, a few times before, it'd been really, really active, but the last time we went, it was quite quiet. And I think a lot of paranormal groups go in there, and I think they burn it out a little bit. Maybe spirit get a bit fed up with the same questions. Is there anybody there? Do you know you're dead? All them type of questions that they get asked all the time. They must get obviously fed up with it, I think. But and suddenly it goes quiet. But it's quite an interesting place. It's called Yule Court, EWELL Court, Yule Court. And say in the grounds was the site of an old gunpowder mill.
Yeah.
And they ground gunpowder for the American Civil War and for the British soldiers. And it's the only gunpowder mill known at that stage. Obviously, 3 times they rebuilt it, but you imagine getting a job in there. Would you like a job in a gunpowder mill? How's your health and safety? Not very good, I'd imagine.
No.
But that was a bit of an interesting place, and I did wonder if you get lots of people go in, whether the spirits get a little bit fed up with the same questions. It's difficult, isn't it, to know what to do when it goes quiet? It's very difficult, isn't it, to know what to sort of stir the energy back up with, really.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're willing to interact with you for longer, then the only great deal you can do other than keep asking and keep moving and keep cameras going, keep your EV, hoping that you'll catch something that just suddenly out of the blue, but the motion sensor going off is interesting, isn't it? So something was on the move, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bit like Waverley that night, wasn't it, when Luke's one went off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was unreal, wasn't it, when that one went off? I think everybody hit the top of the tunnel.
Didn't go off. Didn't go off in Andrew and Darren's room, though, did it?
Nah, no motion in there, mate. Yeah, so that was interesting, really. There, I think Dora wants to talk about where she went when she was away.
When I was in Poland. Yeah.
Tell us about your experience.
I went to concentration camp in Stutov, which is not far from the Russian border. So that was very emotional experience. As soon as I walk in through the gate, I felt like I've been shot in my head. And the pain was just, I felt that pain till evening.
Really?
Yeah.
And did that stay with you all the time that you were there, or did it?
All day, right till the evening I got home.
And you still had it there when you got home?
Yeah.
And what other feelings did you get when you was walking around?
Obviously crying.
Very emotional place, isn't it?
It's just horrible. Seeing like tiny shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And loads of them. Or what they ate off. They only had a bowl each. The beds was only planks of wood. And the room wasn't bigger, 1.5 meters on 2 meters. That
Crazy,
was that bed was like a starvation, torture. So they keep the people in there for, make them basically die of hunger.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Very, very bad place.
Yeah. And then
I felt
is that
dizzy.
near home, or is that near home?
It's about hour and a half drive from my mum. So I would say from Gdańsk would be about hour drive.
And is it in the middle of nowhere, or is it just outside a village, or how is it situated?
It's village. It's quite along the main road. And then on the left of the main road, you've got village and fields. And as you're driving out of the village on the right, you've got woods and the concentration camp.
It's sort of place you wouldn't want to go back at night, then?
Oh, I wouldn't go there at night. No.
You'd have to be very brave, wouldn't you, to walk through the trees to there at night?
The camp is probably locked overnight.
Yeah.
You could probably walk around it because it's all fenced up. But I wouldn't risk it.
No, I don't think I'd.
Even for the wildlife animals,
But, yeah, I mean, I'm quite brave, but I don't think it's the sort of place that I'd be wandering around and, the midnight around the edge of a concentration camp.
You don't
I wouldn't even thought of that.
You don't have bears in Poland, do you?
Sorry?
Do you have bears in Poland?
In South, yeah.
I wouldn't walk around it then. The only thing bears or tigers.
Yeah.
Getting eaten alive. No, I don't fancy that.
No, that's in north, so you'll be all right. Only wolves.
I was all right then, isn't it? Being chased around the woods by a wolf. That's a bit my luck. It's a werewolf. Midnight, they go, oh, that would be my luck. I'm face to face with a werewolf looking at you, and that's not
We
my
never
idea.
used to have wolves in North Poland,
Right.
but they are now.
I suppose they go where the food is, don't they? You wonder,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
scavenging for
My-
food and things like that.
My auntie lives in like she got like 50 meters to the woods of her house.
Oh,
So loads of dogs and cats been killed by wolves
Bloody hell.
on that estate.
wow.
But to be quite careful going out at night then, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Go over there on the motorbike and do a camping trip and not know.
Hmm.
No, I think I'll stick to a caravan, mate. Camping's out. They can get through a tent.
Yeah.
They'll struggle getting through a caravan.
Yeah.
Or a Premier Inn, that'll do, because that's got bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
Make it even more difficult to get through.
Yeah.
Any questions on there, Angelo? Anybody asking any questions tonight?
What made you want to visit that place?
Well, I've been there a few years back, but I went with my mom and Sean and kids are not allowed in.
Oh, right.
So my mom went with Sean and I stay out with kids. I took them like to the playground around there. And I felt like I wanted to go, so kids was around my sister this time. So I took my mom again and her brother
Oh, yeah.
and we went there. You know, it's not a big place,
No.
but 65,000 people went through it.
Wow.
That's a lie, isn't it?
So
That is
that's
a
a lot.
scary amount, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you
You've
think it's
got-
not a very big place and it's 65,000 people, you know, that's a good football stadium on a good day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think about it, 60,000 people going through a concentration camp, that's like a whole Premier League thing, isn't it? 60,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still got like original train tracks and carriages which they carry people there.
Really.
And
And do they still have the furnaces there or the fires?
what you mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Like the burners.
yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah, they
You know,
still got
burners?
the ovens.
The ovens. Oh, okay, they call it
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They put 12 people, 12 bodies in one. Took them 1 hour to burn 12 bodies. And that was running day and night.
It's just horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
there was like, I read on one board, there was too much people in there. And obviously they didn't keep up with burning the bodies, so they dig up massive hole in the woods behind it and just put bodies in there and burn it. So on the photo you can see layer of bones with layer of ashes, layer of bones with layer of ashes.
Yeah, man, now.
Yeah.
Did you feel different emotions as you moved around, or was it sort of
Oh,
same
yeah.
emotion all the way round?
Yeah, it's different. One place I walk with my mom and I said I just have to walk out. I felt so dizzy. It was like something squashing my head.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Great.
I
Mad,
think
isn't it?
the worst place was when they had that ovens in, and that they put them for display in old hospital, where hospital used to treat people only with, you know, the purple stuff you put on the cats. I don't know how it's called.
Purple stuff.
Not
What,
lavender.
like sorry, Nigel?
Not lavender.
No. Oh,
Oh,
What, like antiseptic?
yeah,
Something to put on a cart, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. I will find. What you say, Nigel?
Is it like they call it like iodine, don't they? Something like that.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So they only treat with that or with painkillers. There wasn't like proper supply for the hospital.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
quite scary,
and
really, isn't it?
yeah, because you know, if you went to hospital, that's only mean death sentence anyway.
Yeah.
Because there is no, you know, equipment to treat you. And even if you was ill, they don't really care. You know?
Quite scary, really, isn't it? When you think
Yeah.
about it.
The
But
gas
it's quite-
chamber was scary as well. That was like, whoa. Because it was outside and had front door and back door. So, and it was like a little burner built into it next to the front door. So they made fire in there to let smoke go in. And then from the top, they was dropping the gas bombs inside.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Sort of not the sort of place you'd go for an investigation, is it? It's somewhere you go. It's not the sort of place you go for an investigation, is it? It's somewhere you go as a memory,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know, not somewhere where you'd like to get in there.
Respectful, mightn't it, do an investigation somewhere like that, I think. Don't you
Probably
think?
not, really.
I don't think they will allow it, you know.
No. I think personally it'd be disrespectful
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
the spirits, knowing what.
Absolutely.
I mean,
You know, you
what's
go.
going on, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. You go there as just a tourist looking round, don't you? Because, you know, none of us have ever seen one, and hopefully none of us will ever see one.
No.
You know, but it's one of them places where you want to go, but you don't want to be going, isn't it? Just to say you've been there and you've seen the atrocities, and that's it. You'll never go back to another one.
No, it's it.
You know, I think that's like a one-off sort of walk in there and, you know, break your heart and walk out again, isn't it? You know, and say, right, you know, I've done that, and I'm that's it. I'm not doing that anymore. You know, it's like, you know, when you do an investigation, you know, some places you go, and you all know as yourself as investigators, some places you go and they're very active and very joyful and very, you know, spiritual, good. But pardon me, some places you go and you just get that feeling, don't you? It's not right. Something's not right, and it's difficult to get to the bottom of that feeling. You know, the best sensor to go into an investigation with is your body, isn't it? Because that'll tell you whether something's wrong or right. You know, you could have hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of machinery, you know, take it with you, and you know, although some of the machinery we've taken has really sort of blown us away with what it's come up with, but it's back to that, you know, your body knows whether you're in a right place or a wrong place. You know, and you should always take heed. You know, it's that fight or flight mode, isn't it? Your body will tell you whether it's right or wrong, whether you need to go or stay. You know, so you've always got to trust your feelings from your body, haven't you, really? You know, when it gives you that little nudge. What you going to say, Nigel?
It's called the sixth sense, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, that's the best bit of equipment you can have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that'll tell you whether it's wrong, right. You shouldn't be there. It's a fight or flight mode, you know, and you've got to pay heed. You know, and I'm a strong believer in sometimes spirit will give you a warning, you know, just say, I think you need to go now. Not that something bad's come in or I don't know. It's just sometimes, you know, even when we was at Waverley Abbey and Luke's motion sensor went off, you know, they hadn't gone off all night. And we weren't doing anything that we've not done there before, were we? Other than the, you know, the table tipping was good, and then suddenly for some reason it went off. You know, and sort of you look at each other and think maybe that's the warning to go, or maybe we should leave now. And obviously, you know, you go there as a team and you leave as a team, so everybody's safe. It's also safety, isn't it? You know, you can't go and leave people there on their own, because if something was to ever happen, and you don't know what goes on over there some nights, do you? You know, what they're chanting or what they're trying to bring on, or, you know, and I've been there when there's been a group in the cloisters, you know, chanting. You know, what are they hoping to bring through?
Yeah.
You know? And if they bring it through, are you, like, you know, Nigel will tell you, you walk in there, are you walking straight into something you obviously can't see, but you're walking into something you don't know about? You know, is there something there that you don't know about that's predicted could harm you or give you a scratch? Or we've been very good because, you know, we've all been safe and, you know, we've always gone in as a team and come out as a team. But sometimes when you see people chanting in there, you know, I often wonder, what are you up to? What are you doing? You know, why do you want to call something negative through? You know, I don't know what other people's thoughts are on that, but
It's it's disrespectful, isn't it? I mean, I think all the time you're respectful, you're pretty much all right. I think it's when you start using alcohol, being disrespectful, I don't think that's appreciated.
No, because, you know, they may leave, mightn't they, you know, and leave a portal open or leave some doorway open. You've walked straight in there as a happy team like we are. We always go there and we laugh and we joke and, you know, we have a real good surroundings around us, but we don't know what we're walking into, do we?
No.
You know, we assume everything's safe when we go walking in there. But, you know, I know, you know, Nigel and Darren and, you know, most of us can sense things, can't we? So I think we would pick up something. You think, oh, you know what? That's not right. You know, and you'd hope that we would, because we all, let's be honest, we're all sensitives, aren't we? You know, we're sensitive to our surroundings. You know, there's enough of us that can sense these things. And, you know, and you think to yourself, hopefully your body will tell you something's not quite right. Maybe we should stay out of this room and not go in that room, you know. And it boils down to listening to what your body's telling you. It's all right leaving the equipment in there and catfalls going and tables and, you know, all that sort of thing. But when your body tells you it's not right, then I always feel that's a marker for me.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right.
Yeah. And you would sense it, wouldn't you? You know, I say we've all been doing the paranormal stuff for a very long time and we're very experienced. You know, if one of us picks something up, you know, you say to the others, can you feel that? You know, and if 2, 3, 4 of you, 5 of you pick it up, then something's not quite right, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some person, one of us could, as a team, could pick something up quicker than the others. But when you're talking about 4 or 5 people picking up, then you talk. To me, it's like a warning. You know, 5 of you can't be wrong, can you?
No.
You know, and you've got to sort of heed by that warning of your body again, back to your body again, isn't it? Although I've never had a bad experience there. You know, I've always found it to be a good experience, interesting, really interesting. And I think there is many, many, many layers. And if, you know, if you guys agree, I think there's many layers there that have not been unveiled yet.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, every time we go there, we seem to have something slightly different, don't we?
Yeah.
Or totally different.
Pardon?
Or totally different.
Yeah. I mean, who would think, like, doing table tipping in the middle of the grass area away from the building? And yet it worked, didn't it? It actually did. You know, and I suppose if you imagine the Abbey, would you still be inside if you were in the grass area, do you think, Nigel? Do you think the Abbey would have covered that vast amount of space?
Yeah, I think it did at one point, because there's a board over near the tree and it gives you a lay of how it used to be. And a lot of things are still where they're buried. So it did continue and right out to the other trees, to where the arches as you come through the gate. So imagine it was pretty big.
So you could assume when you table tipping in the middle of the grass, you're actually maybe in the middle of the building, or
yeah. And not only that, don't forget, many a battle would have gone on the land itself anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
and that must make you wonder about the layers that you uncover every time we go. We seem to uncover something different, don't we? You know, I think the last time, I'm not sure was it a recent passing we had a lady on the table, or it was a recent one we all sort of thought, oh, okay. I think it was, am I right, or am I confused?
We had the woman that was on her way to her wedding, wasn't she?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
The car crashed, didn't it? And she died. Yeah. She was there last time as well, wasn't she, Dor? She was there last time.
I think it was the different one.
She was there twice, wasn't she? The time before and this time.
So it makes you wonder why a recent passing would be there, that particular place. Would they have been going there for a wedding there, or a venue there?
I don't think it works like that. I think whatever's gone on in the area, or I think just genuinely when you call spirits through, some spirits hear it and jump forward, because it's like, it's hard to explain, but like I get loads of people that come here from all over just because they want to do the angel board, as they call it. So they come, and you know, their relatives are there all the time. So
that's interesting.
You get lots of other different spirits that come in just to chat as well, and it's weird. So I think it's just when you call through, I think it's whoever hears you.
Yeah, whoever sees the light comes in.
Because they say the universe is just like continuously bouncing in it with energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's heard, and I think when you call, I think certain spirits just say, "Oh, I'm going to respond to that." You know, oh yeah, I know them. That's my son or my daughter or whatever. And,
yeah. That's interesting.
And we don't know what connection we got to them anyway, do we? When they do come through, I mean, we are all related, aren't we? Really? If you
of course,
back and back. So God knows who our family really is.
That's it, isn't it? You know, unless you do a family tree and realise how far back you do actually go.
Well, I went back to 1500s, and all my family from 17 down was all coat of armours.
Right.
But what they actually mean, they had like all different names. It was weird, but yeah, they're all coat of armours. So, but
that's interesting, isn't it?
My dad's mum was an Indian princess. So,
wow.
Yeah. So God knows where the family, where
it goes from there. Yeah. And I often wonder why, you know, when you get communication with a spirit that's from the 1500s, I seem to think that, you know, the dialect's different. Our dialect now is different, or the wording we use now is different to wording they would have used in the 1400s or the 1500s. You know, when you ask the question, do they actually understand what we're asking them, or, you know, is our dialect slightly different? And I don't know. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Good question. The dialect would have been different because they did speak different, didn't they?
Yeah.
I really don't know. It's maybe they've got some sort of guide. Well, they seem to know everything, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
There's just things that they can't tell us.
So
I think personally, when you've passed, I think there ain't nothing special about this life in the way of secrets. I think this is just a school. You're allowed mistakes, you know. But when you're gone, everything's revealed.
I do believe that we're put here to teach or to learn.
Yeah.
And whatever we teach or learn in this life, we take forward to another life. You know, we learn. They say you learn by your mistakes. You know, so what mistakes we make in this life, we learn that not to take them through to the next life. You know, I don't know how you lot feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think everything's revealed when you move on, because I don't know if anyone's ever tried it, but when you're doing a board and you mention like God exists, they will tell you, you know, yes, there's something, you know. But if you ask them any questions, particularly about God, they will just disappear. They will shut it down. because they're not allowed. It's like they're not allowed to comment. They would
Right.
instantly disappear. So there's something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's only
It's a-
so much they can tell us, and I think a lot gets revealed when you move on.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they say there's a spiritual law, isn't there, that people we use, and people so often say, if you're not of the light, you're not to light. Come in, and you're not allowed. So there's obviously something there that they need, a law that they follow. And like you say, Nigel, whether they say, you mustn't comment about this, you mustn't comment about that. Communication's okay, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
That's interest. Any questions, Angela, or anybody asking any questions?
No.
Okay. But that's interesting. The other thing I was going to say is Saturday the 23rd. I don't know if everybody's available, yourself, Angela, and Luke. Do we fancy an evening at Waverley?
I'm out on the 22nd and 23rd because I've already booked Wales, unfortunately, but taking the bike up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I've done Scotland 3 times this year. I've only done Wales once, so I've got to do it once more.
Nice.
Yeah, so
it's just a date I put out there. Obviously, before and after that, we're busy with Jen's bits and pieces coming up and other bits. So
we to do it, don't you, Dawn?
Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I put it out there. Angela, speak to Darren, and if anybody on here, Gemma or Debbie's watching, or whoever, if you're interested to come, put a comment on here. Contact Darren or South Coast Ghosts, or even put it on here, because we're looking at maybe the evening as the 23rd. Only an evening. We'll obviously go in as a group and come out as a group, like we always do. But hopefully, if yourself and Darren are available, and we can go over there.
Darren will be away. He'll be in Lincoln. I haven't decided if I'm going or not yet.
Where's he going?
Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
Caravan festival thingy.
Oh, right, a rave in the cave, you mean?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Darren's on the rave in the cave. Well, if anybody else is interested, Angela, if you want to go or wherever, we can all meet where we normally meet. Obviously, go in together. I'm out together. Luke, are you okay for that sort of date?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
So hopefully Angela can come. Obviously, Darren's busy, or if Angela's going to the rave in the cave with Darren, I put in a few emails. It's to be honest with you, it's in Suffolk, and it's a lot to do with the Second World War. I've come across someone that knows a lot about the bunkers and the stuff in the Second World War that was used in the Suffolk area. Now I'm waiting for them to come back to see whether we can go in as a group in there, but it's never been done before. So I obviously won't say much about. So I've got my fingers crossed, but it's quite a special place. It's a museum at the moment, but they have venues and bits and pieces go on there, but they've never had anybody go in there. So, and they said they're quite very interested. Obviously, they're going to the board, speak to the board, and see whether they'll gain us permission to go in there. Obviously, it's not far from where you were at Rendlesham, Angela. So, couple of hours up to Suffolk. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll come back.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to get access to that, which will be really interesting.
Yeah.
What else is there? Oh, a couple of other bits I've got in the pipeline for up there. But other than that, if anybody out there is listening or, comments and shares on tonight that, we're looking to go to Waverley on the 23rd. So if you're interested, obviously contact myself, Darren or Angela on the South Coast Ghosts or Host for Ghosts and give us your name so we know who we're going to wait for and get numbers. Otherwise 2 of you turn up, and you're just really I don't know whether two of you'd really want to go over there. You know, I think it's safety in numbers really there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully we can get it together and go over there for the evening if everybody's interested. The Guildford Ghost Walk is still on.
Yeah, when's that?
That is, yeah, that's a good point. When is that? 14th, is it, Angela?
Yeah, 14th October.
14th of October. I've got to go nearer the time, ping him, so we can get together and meet where he wants us to meet. And then obviously it's an hour and a half tour, and it's only a 10 quid for the hour and a half tour. So good value for money. I think a few people I know have done it, so it's really interesting, quite fascinating. And then maybe before, if we all want to meet up and have something to eat before you go on the walk, you know, you're welcome. As long as I know numbers, I can try and find somewhere to get us all in or whatever. But I've had a confirmed booking for the 14th for the Ghost Walk. So whoever's interested, ping us and let us know. I've put a messenger group together. So if everybody can start putting their names down, so we get a rough idea of how many numbers. It's on Messenger, Nigel. I can probably send you the link or get Andrew to send you the link, whatever. But it's the Guildford Ghost Walk. And then we get all the numbers together. And then we know exactly he needs a minimum of 8 to do it. So we'll have 8 anyway, whatever happens. You know, even. And it's only for us. It's nobody else. It's only for us team. You know, if other people come along, other teams, then that's fine. But he's doing it as a private event just for us.
Send us that link because I didn't get it.
Okay. I don't know whether I've got your Messenger or WhatsApp, or I'll get Dora to send it. I don't think I've got your number.
I've got WhatsApp. Yeah. Pass it around.
Yeah. I'll send it over. And if Dora's got your number or whatever, I can just ping it and just send it.
Yeah.
Send it off into the aura, into the universe. Please find Nigel. Find Nigel. And put your thoughts out there. Please find Nigel. So if anybody watching this or, you know, is watching on a replay and you're interested in that, you know, contact myself or Darren, Angela, you know, any of us. And we put your names down and then come along on the, say it's exclusively for us, not members of the public, just a team, like a private walk around he's doing for us. And say nearer the time, I'll contact him to know where we start and where we meet him. And then, you know, if everybody's interested, we'll try and book somewhere to have something to eat before and have a quick meal and then, you know, have a walk around. But apparently he's quite interested. But for 10 quid each for an hour and a half, you know, Guildford is quite haunted. It's quite well known for its hauntings, you know, so it should be interesting. The guy himself doesn't really believe in ghosts and paranormal stuff, even though he does a ghost walk.
Okay.
But he said to me he's quite skeptical about the stuff, but it's true history, you know. So he's supposed to be quite funny, you know, very funny man that does it. And the other one I'm quite interested in doing, if anybody else is interested, is the Brighton Lanes. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Where he takes you through Old Brighton and all of that area.
Yeah, that looks
so
good.
I've read his book called The Haunted Lanes of Brighton. Really, really interesting book. Really, really interesting. So if everybody's up for it, maybe we'll contact him and see if he'll do it for us privately around Brighton.
Yeah.
You know, take us into the old part of Brighton. You know, I did an investigation in the old part of Brighton many years ago in what they call the Old Brighton Police Cells, which is underneath the town hall.
Yeah.
You know, great venue there. But when we've contacted them, they're not so keen on it at the moment. But, you know, that's all in the sort of the Old Brighton Lanes, because when you read his book, there's only ever 4 alleyways that Brighton started off as, you know, different alleyways. There was only 4 of them. And then gradually over the time, and it wasn't called Brighton, it was called something else in the old days. And gradually it built up to what we got in the modern days now. So, you know, it's big history in Brighton. You could think, you know, the sea and the harbours and, you know, you got Portsmouth, Southampton and all around them areas, you know, where you would have had smugglers and You know, all sorts of things would have gone on in them days, all along that coast, really, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
if we can get a private walk around with the guy that does that, you know, it might be very interesting to see, you know, the old part of Brighton and all the things that he tells you, you know, history. He's an actor, so he acts out a lot of stuff and wears all the equipment. And have a look at it. It's the Ghost Walk of Brighton Lanes, it's called. And he's an actor, but he does it all quite often. So I don't know whether there's a cut-off point they do to a certain month and then they'd stop. But, you know, if we do this one and everybody's interested in that and agreed, we'll try and approach him to do a private one for us for Brighton.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So I think that'd be interesting, really, wouldn't it, to get the lowdown on Brighton? I mean, to go from four lanes to how it is now is incredible. And it was a different name. I can't remember, the name escapes me now, but it was called something like Bright Toner or Bright something other. It wasn't actually known as Brighton. It was known as something different. And it gradually, the name changed as modern times came along. It expanded in size and became a different name.
That's like all the places, isn't it? London, Guildford, they're all different names.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, as we know them.
Yeah. So you can imagine how small they started off with to become how big they are. You know, Guildford's a city, isn't it, now? You know, because you've got that huge church and the university there. You know, massive football ground.
Played a big part in the Second World War, Guildford. Got hit a lot of bombs.
Right.
A lot went
so
on
was it bombed heavily during the war then, Nigel?
Yeah, they reckon the Devil's Punch Bowl was craters.
Oh.
All right.
You know, they reckon that's how that was actually formed through bombings.
Was it? All right.
Because obviously they were aiming for London, but a lot of the doodle bugs, weren't they, as they call them or whatever?
Yeah.
Obviously missed their target. They didn't quite get there. Some dropped short. That's why Portsmouth got bombed a bit. Some dropped short. Some didn't make it. Some dropped halfway. So Guildford and Hazelmere.
Right.
Because my dad's family got evacuated from Hazelmere because it was
right.
hit. So they got moved up to Kent. But
that's it. Thanks, Debbie. Bricktactilus or something. Brickulus. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, that's what it was originally known as.
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry?
I put it on the screen, so I thought I don't know how you say that. So you can just read it.
Bricktellus. I don't know. I'm probably saying it completely wrong. But it started off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 1086. Thanks, Debbie. That's brilliant. You know, welcome tonight. That's what we like to see. You know, interaction from people. And that's interesting. So, you know, from 1086, you know, that's a huge history, isn't it? Up until the modern day now.
Yeah.
You know, you look at that. It's huge, isn't it? Really, and how it's changed from probably smugglers and, you know, highwaymen and all of that type of stuff. You know, it's a steeped history, isn't it? Really, from 1086. You know, and that's as far as they know from the records. Imagine if, you know, you don't know if it went back further than that, do you? Really? No. That's interesting. Thank you, Debbie, for that, putting that on there. It's interesting. But really, that's it. Anybody got anything planned for this week or this weekend?
No.
This weekend, nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
But I'd like to do something though.
I'm off up to Suffolk to talk to a few people for us, to see whether we can get an opening up there, you know, as a team event. You know, it's a couple of hours up, really. It's not mentally far, but I've got a few appointments to see on Saturday and one on Sunday morning. So, you know, it's not far away. There's, you know, I'll obviously keep you up posted whenever it comes up or what I get to hear back. Sometimes you don't always hear back, do you? You know, you send it out and get nothing back. So fingers crossed. You know, I've got a couple of bits in the pipeline. So fingers crossed we'll we'll cotton on to something, I'm sure, you know.
Definitely.
Any other questions, Angela?
Debbie's just commented that she's gardening this weekend, depending on the weather.
Nice. Depends on the weather, yeah. We want a bit of sunshine.
Supposed to be raining.
Oh, thanks, Dora. That's just ruined the week now.
Yeah.
No.
That's just put a dampener right on that week. Poor
Yeah.
Debbie's going to do her gardening. What's she going to do now? I suppose she could do gardening with an umbrella.
Plant pots in the house, inside the house.
Window boxes. Or watch someone else do the garden. One or the other. And say we're off to Suffolk on Friday or early Saturday morning, so that's our weekend sort of gone. But if like we say, if anybody's interested in the 23rd, you know, let us know, comment, you know, drop some comments on there, you know, share this Monday Night Live. It's what we're all about, laughter and, you know, and just having different talks about different things. You know, it's interesting to have other people put stuff down like Debbie did, and, you know, and Gemma put her bit in. You know, the more the merrier, really. Come on and join us and tell us about your own group or tell us about your investigations you've done at the weekend. And where Darren's trying to talk to one of his friends that has about 20 odd years involved with haunted dolls. So we'd like to sort of get him on here. I don't know whether Nigel knows him, but
Scott.
get him on here and talk about his dolls, haunted dolls.
Is that Scott?
Yeah. Which will be interesting, you know, and maybe get Graham on here, Graham Bentley. You know, he always comes up with some really amazing EVPs and talk to us about the stuff like that. You know, we've had Tim Stevens talk about equipment, which is really interesting, which was nice to come on. And that's really what we're about on a Monday night, really. You know, we keep it to an hour or hour and a bit, you know, listen to other people's investigations and, you know, have our say. And, you know, Dora, interesting at Dora, where Dora's been, you know, a sad place, not a place you'd want to investigate, but somewhere you could say, well, I've been there, you know, and it's not the place I want to go back. But it, you know, everybody says, oh, you should go to Auschwitz, you should go there, you know, that's, you know, but would you really go there if you were on holiday? Is it the sort of place you'd make a beeline for?
I want to go there. I want to ride the bike down, and then just go there. Really, just pay respect. Really.
Yeah.
Because I haven't forgotten. If you know.
No. I'd like to get on the bike and do the war fields. You know, up through Calais and up into Ypres, up into Belgium. Yeah. And I think you could cross the border, can't you, Dora, from Belgium into Poland?
Well, if you go Belgium into Luxembourg first, that's beautiful, Luxembourg. And then back out. Yeah. I mean, I've done Belgium, Normandy.
Oh, nice.
I've done most of it. I'll go every year to Menengate as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's one place I'd like to go. You know, do the battlefields all the way up and then maybe end up staying in Ypres, you know, in Menengate.
Ypres, yeah.
That's where it is, isn't it? The village of Ypres.
Yeah.
But wasn't there a big tank battle there, Nigel, at Ypres?
Yeah.
There's a big battle there, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. And you got the river there too, isn't you? That runs through there. There was a battle on that.
And all the names are on the arch, aren't they? Or so a friend of mine was telling me.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's just endless.
Yeah.
They do ceremony there every night.
They play the last post, don't they? Every night.
Every night. I think it's 365 days of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Amazing, isn't it? So I'd love to do that.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Really
so
amazing.
Hopefully next year, you know, once I've settled down after my mishap, you know, I'll be able to do that, cross the ferry and maybe go up with some other riders, you know, and do up there, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know if Darren and Angela would do or whatever, we could go up along that coast. It'd be something else, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah. No, I've done Normandy, Ypres, and, you know, it's brilliant. All the beaches to visit are just like, the Americans had the worst deal, but when you look at them and all the tanks and that are still out at sea that just didn't get recovered, and floating docks and that. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's like you say, it's a lot to do with sightseeing, but pay your respects, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You know, for the fallen that
It
really did what they had to do for us, didn't it? Really, you know, and it's just about having that respect, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
You know, that's what it's about. So,
Otherwise we'd be having this conversation in German right now.
yeah, yes, I'd be all right because I did have blonde hair and blue eyes, so I would have been all right. Now I think I might be in trouble with no hair and dark eyes. I think I could be in trouble. Anybody else got anything to add?
Graham's just said he's listening from the Lake District on his holidays, and he'll join in.
Oh, right, for some, innit, Graham, eh? Lake District, get you.
Yeah.
Living the dream, mate. You've done well on the weather then, if you're up there.
Yeah.
Unless the weather's different halfway up the country, I'm not sure. But, you know, we've been lucky, haven't we? We've had quite a late into the summer.
Yeah. It's lovely.
And may it long go on. I don't mind a bit of hot weather for a bit longer. Because the winters are long, aren't they, in this country?
Yeah.
You know, wake up and it's raining, go to work, it's raining, come home, it's raining.
Come to Poland for the winter.
Is it? You have a long winter out there?
-20, -30.
Well, Graham said it's raining.
I was right, oh dear. Whoops.
Oh.
Put my foot in it. Oh, it's not raining down here.
Yet.
That's why they call it the Lake District, Graham, because it always rains up there. Keep the lakes stocked up. Okay, if no one's got anything to add or there's no questions, just a big thank you for myself and everybody on here tonight. And Angela, well done, Angela, for doing it. Another brilliant job. I think we'll have to get Darren in the back. You sit in the front, Darren at the back now. We've got his number now.
You took the job, Angela.
Yeah, we're giving you the job, Angela, producer of the Monday Night Live.
Cool.
So it's just a big thank you for all of us on here. If you're interested in a ghost walk, you know, ping us on Host for Ghosts and South Coast Ghosts and whatever, and just come along. You know, it's £10 for the night. Come along, meet the team, meet us in person. You see that we're not fearful, we're not scary. You know, we might look scary on here, but we're not. And also, if you're interested in Waverley Abbey on the 23rd, hopefully maybe Angela can get there. Depends if she's in the rave in the cave with Darren. You know, come along. We'll meet, go in as one team, come out as a team. So it might be interesting if you're interested, never been there before and fancy going there. You're perfectly safe. You know, as I say, we all go in together. We all come out together. We leave nobody behind. You know, and we do heed the warnings when there is a warning. You know, we have some good sensitive and mediums there. So, you know, unfortunately, Nigel won't make it this time, but, you know, we're always safe. We make sure that we are very safe. So if you're interested in that, ping us a message. Or you're interested in the Ghost Walk as well, just like and share this page. You know, get it out there so all the other groups can see how we're doing. And when we're not fearful, come on and chat to us about your weekends of paranormal investigations. If you want to talk about the supernatural, because obviously paranormal is a very small part of the supernatural. You know, and it'd be interesting to hear people, you know, if you want to talk about UFOs or anything. You know, we're interested in anything and listen to anybody. So if you feel like coming on and having a chat or just message or ask us a question, if we don't know the answer, we'll try and find someone that does and try and help you with your message. You know, don't be afraid to message us, South Coast Ghosts and Host of Ghosts. You know, we'll always pick up your messages. And we do go back over the video. We'll look at the comments. Darren will obviously filter through the video when he's home or when he gets 5 minutes. He'll go through this video, this live, and have a look. You know, we'll get his feedback on it. But I think Angela's number one producer. So I think he's got to run for his money now. So it's a big thank you for tuning in tonight. And if you're or on replay or whatever. So it's a big thank you from me, Paul. And everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, goodbye.
And that video is premiering at 10 o'clock. They've got 17
there you go.
And it will go live on South
There
Coast.
you go. On South Coast Ghosts on YouTube.
Yep.
10 o'clock tonight. get on there, like, thumbs up, share, everything. We'll have a look at that. You know, Darren works hard on these videos, so everybody click on there at 10 o'clock if you can and give it the thumbs up and share it, and you know, just push it out there so other people can see what we're doing, really. So as I say, it's a good night from me, and have a super week. Everybody stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.